What's going on, everyone? It's Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur, your favorite veteran. Are you all feeling stuck? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling like you just can't stop the distractions? Well, the truth is it's probably because you lack focus. That's the hardcore truth. I know some of you don't want to hear it, but you may be failing because you are significantly lacking focus. So in this video, I want to explore how you can decrease your lack of focus and increase your productivity and increase your focus in order for you to scale your business, grow your business, or start your business in 2025 and be a government contracting millionaire and get this GovCon money sooner rather than later. So let's get into it. So what is focus? Focus is when you direct all your attention, your time, your energy toward one task, and you're constantly focused on one thing until it is complete. I know that's an unpopular opinion because most of us use many tabs when we're on the computer and we feel like if we bounce between multiple things then we're being more productive. But statistics show that multitasking actually makes you 40% less productive. So I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but I want to make sure that people understand where I'm coming from because I am a reformed multitasker. I very rarely multitask anymore. I will say that I will try to at least get to a milestone on a thing before I move on to the next thing instead of just being on all things at all times. I found that didn't really work for me. My brain was too separated in order to get a single task done. So then I'll have like 50 half tasks done instead of one full task. And we have different ways as individuals of how we knock those out. They have ways where you can actually, do something for 10 minutes and then stop, do another thing for 10 minutes and then stop, where you go through the entire task until it's complete. We have methods where you can start with the smallest thing and knock a bunch of small things out and save the biggest thing for last. Then there's a method where you can start with the largest thing and then everything else should be easier, or even just priority, right? Whatever is the most important needs to get done now and get it done now, and then you move on to everything else based on priority. And why is it critical? It's critical because when you split your brain, when you break up the task and you have to refocus, it takes 3 to 5 seconds to focus on the new task. So you keep doing that back and forth, you do the math throughout the day, you're losing a lot of seconds, a lot of minutes, and maybe even hours of productivity that you could be focused on this one thing and getting it done. And don't you feel really accomplished when you get something done and it's out of the way and it's over with, and then you can almost like, woo-saw a little bit, and then you move on to the next task. It's super, super critical to stay focused on something. And that's probably why a lot of us aren't able to really get through, even getting through my course, getting through other courses, the free training that's online, even getting through some of my videos. Your attention is just everywhere. You can't even stop to focus on one thing at a time. That is not sustainable in business. You have to be able to pay attention. There's going to be, especially if you're selling things, if you're dealing with logistics, if you're dealing with mission critical or life-saving products or services, you not being able to focus and concentrate on the task at hand could mean a detriment to your business or even someone's life. One of the key elements about being focused is being motivated. Now, some of us suffer greatly with procrastination. I was a person that suffered so greatly with procrastination that I used to watch, to procrastinate, I would watch procrastination videos. Oh my gosh, like comedy skits about procrastination while I was procrastinating, which is so crazy, but that's something in your mental that makes you not want to face whatever it is that you are, the task at hand. Now, there may be things within your business that you just specifically don't like, or maybe you just don't like what you're doing as a whole. But procrastination is a reactive response to something internally that you don't want to do externally. So procrastination is definitely something that I suffer with and that I had to actually pray away. I meditated away. I wrote. I no longer want to procrastinate, and it has been out of my life. I have been procrastination free, okay, for the last 8 years that I've had my company, and boom, it skyrocketed once I really set in focus. Now, most of you that have followed me for a while, and if you're new here, welcome. But if you follow me for a while, I've been in kind of understanding and learning about government contracting for over 10 years. Started my company almost 8 years ago. So 2 years of procrastination kept me from getting to the bag when I could have just, stopped procrastinating and actually started going after opportunities and networking and building relationships and all the things that come with government contracting. Also, when you are not focused, you make poor decisions. decisions. Again, I talked about, an oversight on something, or even pricing. If you're not focused, sometimes you can submit bad pricing because you're switching between tabs and you forget which item goes to which thing. And then boom, now you've won a contract for $1 and you can't execute anything with that low dollar amount, $1, for example. I don't want anyone to say, well, can you really get a contract for $1? No, I'm being funny, but really, I have a toggle between separate tabs and submitted the wrong pricing. And luckily I was able to correct it. But there's times where you don't have the luxury of correcting a pricing or correcting verbiage, or you could be even grammatically incorrect on a proposal, which it could mean that the contracting officer, whoever is viewing the proposal, may say, this person can't even spell. I'm not even going to award them the contract. This happens. We're in a people business, so you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So staying focused is a part of this process. You don't always have to have a rigid schedule. Some people have a very, very rigid schedule where it's from 8 to 10, I'm doing this, and from 10 to 12, I'm doing this. And it could be, if that works for you, that's great. But I would say at the very least, make sure that you're focusing on your major task, or, knocking out multiple tasks, one by one and prioritizing as best you can without any distraction. That's huge. And another thing would be burnout. When you have to do so many different things and your brain is scattered across multiple tabs, you can get burnt out really, really quickly. So sometimes you might go to bed defeated because you're like, what did I do all day? And you may not even have truly accomplished a single task. You just started or worked on multiple tasks, and then you're coming back to the same multiple tasks the next day, the next week, and then you're just getting burnt out with no real true result. So burnout is huge. That's been a buzzword over the last couple of years. Procrastination is huge, which a lot of people are not going to admit to. If you're choosing to, do something that is not income producing when you know you need to do something income producing, you are a procrastinator. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to change it around. Yes, take time when you need to take time. But definitely, if you are avoiding something that's important, that's called procrastination. Boo-boo. And then, of course, poor choices, because you're overlooking things. We want to make sure that we're staying focused so we don't lose money. Make sure that we do not lose money, or we don't affect the mission that we are supporting. So you may be saying, Sheena, I don't know why I'm so distracted. I don't even know really what my distraction is. I just look up and it's nighttime already and I haven't gotten anything done. Well, we live in a world with constant gratification, right? We have to constantly have stimuli in order to keep moving. Soon as there's a break in time, let's just say you're waiting for a page to load, you're waiting at a bus stop, you're even sitting on the toilet, you have to be entertained at all times. Whereas if you're 40 plus or even 35 plus, we didn't have that luxury. We just were there. Wherever we were just there alone with our thoughts. If you didn't even have a TV, some people didn't have TVs, some people didn't have cable, definitely didn't have social media at all. Some people didn't even have computers. So now we're in a constant state of, instant gratification, stimuli, and social media, right? So you have to go back to a time, if you are old enough, go back to a time where you were just able to be alone with your thoughts. I know it was probably a long, long time ago, because it seems like we've had social media forever, but really it's about, recentering, refocusing, and understanding what you really want. If you really want this business, if you really want to grow, if you really want to scale, if you want to get to your goals in 2025 and beyond, you have to be able to focus. You have to put out your key performance indicators, KPIs. I said I wanted to reach this goal by this time. What is my measurement? How much time should it take me to get to that point? And so if you're not paying attention to any of those things because you're constantly on social media, you're constantly watching TV, you're constantly, doing all the things that are not associated with your goals, then of course you're going to miss those goals. And then you're going to be scrambling, trying to figure out, why did 2 years go by and I still haven't done anything with this business? There's life things that happen to make you focus on what's really truly important, which family and health and all those things are the utmost importance, because they will affect your business. They will affect, you even being just a solo entrepreneur. It affects all those things. But if it's not those things, then you have to ensure that you are paying attention to what's important to your business. Your business is in control, okay? Your business is in control. It will let you know what you need to do next, because some things may work in this environment and some things don't work in that same environment. So your business is dictating kind of how you need to navigate, and then you insert your own personal goals. Another buzzword right now is imposter syndrome. I don't really like that term because I really didn't understand it at first. I'm like, imposter? What you mean? I'm Sheena, like what? But really it's about self-doubt and not feeling that you should be where you are, or you don't even deserve to get to the point where your goals are. You might want to be a billionaire and you're like, well, I don't deserve to be a billionaire. No one around me is a billionaire. Somebody laughed at you when you said you wanted to be a billionaire. But that self-doubt is exactly what it is. Self-doubt. No one else that really matters truly is doubting you. Anyone that's close to you that's doubting you, I'm not going to say get rid of them, but maybe not tell them what your internal goals are. Anyone that's around you should be happy that you are doing what you do, as long as it's safe and ethical, right? And that it makes sense. Makes sense in the scheme of, you're not like, you know what, I'm going to become a billionaire selling oranges on the street. Okay, that doesn't make logical sense. You probably won't be a billionaire selling oranges on the street, respectfully. But something that makes sense and can be done, and you go through my course and I teach you how to get a contract in 90 days. Yes, all that stuff makes sense, and someone who is around you in your inner circle, whether it's family, friends, whatever, should support that, as long as you are doing this ethically and you're not sacrificing the important things, the important things in life, your health, your family, and all the other, not taking money out the kids' college fund unless they don't need it. Those types of things. But anyway, said all that to say that, failure is a part of this process. So don't look at failure as the end. Failure is just another hurdle to get over. We all have failure. If anyone does business and they tell you they have never failed, they are a liar. Send them to me. Send them to me. They are a liar, because there's a lot of failure, and you don't even really have to truly address it as failure. It may just be the end of that chapter, and then you are open to another chapter. There's a company that I was told about that actually sold their company to an investment group in 2023, I believe. And they ended up, before that, 2021, 2022, losing a huge contract, had to do a mass layoff. I'm talking half the company. And most people, that would be a failure. And I believe they had like 300 employees, something like that. Pretty decent sized company doing government contracting. And so they lost a couple of major contracts, and had a major issue with a facility that they were setting up. And it was just all bad. And I want to say maybe their revenue was around $50 million. And that's just a guess. Can't remember off the top of my head. But then they ended up selling their company, 2 years later, for $300 million. So you just never know. That chapter was closed in order for another chapter to open. We don't always know why. So we just roll with the punches and get up to fight another day. Okay. Just wake up the next day. Today's a new day. The energy has to be better, because yesterday was rough. So today's energy has to be great. When you leave with that, it helps. Definitely. I have had to do that many times. You write down your goals for the day. You write down what you're grateful for this week, last week, yesterday, last night, this morning, right when you woke up, all the things that you're grateful for, because then you'll get more of those great things. So you just want to keep your mind in a positive state. And that'll keep you from thinking that you're going to fail. Because if you're constantly saying, I'm a failure, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm not like Sheena, I'm not like this other person. I'm telling you guys, I'm no different. I'm no different than any of you who are looking to do government contracting, looking to scale your business. I'm not different. I'm bold, I guess. I'm a rebel. I want to jump out there and see if it'll work. And if it doesn't work, no one's going to kill me. Nobody's going to beat me up, and it's going to be fine. You're going to live to fight another day. Okay. So get out of your mind, get out of your thoughts thinking that you're not good enough or you're going to fail. Just roll with it. See what happens. Challenge yourself. See what happens, and see if, even if there's some people that I like this method. There are some people who will say, I'm giving myself, 1 to 3 years, 1 to 5 years. And I'm going to go hard in the paint. I'm going full force. Now, if it doesn't work, then I'm going back to my job. Cool. I can see that. Now, if you are bidding actively, you are networking actively, you are going full force in government contracting for 3 years, you will win a contract. Like, I can almost guarantee it. Now, if you're just doing a little bit here and there, tiptoeing around, then yeah, it could be 10 years and you don't win anything. But if you give yourself a deadline, I'm going to go from this year to this year, but I'm really focused, I'm really doing this, then yes, I would say if you don't get anything, which I highly doubt that that's even possible, then yeah, go back to work or whatever you feel what you need to do in order to get out of this business or this government contracting journey. I'm just, That's a thought, but getting out of your mind is the first step. So you say, Sheena, how do I get focused? How do I start focused? How do I get back focused? Setting clear goals. Setting clear goals for really tomorrow, for this week, for this month, for this year, 5 years, 10 years, and beyond. That's the easiest way to stay focused, because you're going to look at the matrix like, okay, because if you do it just a year, then, you're like, I got a whole year to do it. That's how some people think. So, but if you set a goal for tomorrow, a goal for the week, a goal for the month, a goal for, the quarter, a goal for the year, then you can measure, okay, am I on track here? I got to make sure that I can check off these boxes, because that's a very satisfying feeling, is to be able to check off the boxes of the things that you, the goals that you have actually accomplished. And even your to-do list. Some people are mental to-do lists. Some people write down to-do lists, but I'm a write down to-do list. And knocking those things out make you feel more accomplished and give you those endorphins for you to be able to continue to move forward. Another thing is eliminating the distractions, whatever those are. It could be people. Now, you can't get rid of a lot of distractions, such as like your significant other or your kids or your dogs or cats or iguanas or whatever. You may not be able to eliminate your job or those things yet, but the things that you're distracted by. If you know that you're on social media all day or anytime you get a free moment and it's not serving you the way it needs to serve you, meaning you're not selling anything on there or you're not making a lot of money on social media, just trim it down. I don't want to say get rid of it, because that's kind of harsh, but trim it down. When I really, really got hyper focused, I got rid of Facebook. Like, I deleted the app, I logged out, and I'm still not back on Facebook to this day. I haven't been on Facebook since maybe like 2016, 2017. And I started my business in 2017. So and that was a part of my procrastination, getting rid of it. And Facebook had made me mad one day and I just logged out. I think I even changed my password. I did all these things to eliminate that, because all the notifications and all that stuff, like, I only have notifications on my phone when it rings and my text messages. And most of the time my phone is on vibrate anyway, so I may not even hear any of that as well. But some people have notifications on every single app on their phone. Oh my goodness, I don't understand how y'all function like that. Get rid of all that. Unless it's making you money or unless it's super, super important, get rid of all those notifications. Even LinkedIn. I used to even have the little one bubble, like the bubble on LinkedIn. I got rid of that. I'll check it when I get there. Nothing's gonna explode if I don't check LinkedIn or check my social media. Another thing is using the technique I mentioned earlier, which is work for a few minutes, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, and then take a break, and then work, and then take a break, and then work, and then take a break. Those hyper-focused minutes on that one thing is a lot better than you multitasking, because you'll probably get it done in more than half the time, because 40% less productive when you're multitasking, so 60% as productive or more productive. So definitely use that method if it works for you. That method doesn't really work for me. I like to go through the thing until something happens, like whether I get a phone call or I work on it until I'm like my stomach starts growling or I work on it until I have to use a restroom or something like that. I want to just, be locked in, and then because I know if I get up, I'm going to be distracted doing other things. So that's, a method that you can use. Also, prioritizing your tasks. And it may not even be business tasks. It may be personal stuff that has to be weaseled into that. And I use my calendar for literally everything. Even taking out the trash, I have it in my calendar because I'm afraid that I might forget. So having all those things in place make it so much easier to navigate what you need to do. Because if you are just kind of going with the flow, then anything can happen throughout your day. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't get this thing done. I'm not super rigid about that. I'm super rigid about my calendar. But like, for example, when I'm recording YouTube videos, I don't usually plan those. I just see if I have time in that day and I got on makeup already and I just record my videos, because it's just so much easier for me. If I don't feel motivated and I record, then it shows. And so, things like that, you have to kind of work in at your leisure, but then you learn yourself. You learn what works for you. That works for me. If I got on makeup, I'm recording a video, at least one video. So just ensuring that you have prioritizing your tasks, and even with a timeline, a timestamp, having an official schedule of what time you're going to wake up and what time you plan on going to bed. Some people are all night people. Some people get up early people. I do both. I really like to get up early. I don't get up as early as I used to, but I still like to get up early, knock out a few things before I start getting text messages and emails and all that, because I want to be done with that stuff, and then I can fight the world, head on with responding to certain things. So that works better for me. Some people are up late at night because they have a family and it's just easier to get stuff done. But then what ends up happening when you stay up really, really late is you get up later too. Or if you got to get up early and you stayed up late, now you're tired and you got to take a nap. Or you're just tired and you can't take a nap, and you end up crashing out later on in the week. So just my little humble opinion about sleep. Sleep is very, very, I have a very interesting relationship with sleep. So anyway, nonetheless, just do what works for you, but try to have a schedule to make your life just a lot easier. And especially some of our parents that have kids in sports and activities, that stuff, with me, with my daughter, my son played football, my daughter played volleyball. When I brought her an hour to practice before she could drive, I knew that, and this is like kind of during COVID too, so we couldn't go inside and watch their practice. So I would have my laptop. That was my time to get a lot of stuff done in the car while I was waiting on her to get out of practice. So like, even if I didn't get the things I needed to get done that day, I knew that I had an hour or 2 hours to get stuff done while I was waiting for her to get out of practice. So things like that actually do help if you're not already doing that. Practicing mindfulness. I talked about, when you wake up, writing something down that you're grateful for, writing down your goal for the day. Even if you don't accomplish all those goals, you're not a failure. You are just roll it over to the next day. When you're hyper aware of those things, then you feel better about, okay, that's no problem. Couldn't get it done today. I can get it done tomorrow or the next day. But they're there. They're not just lingering in the back of your mind like, oh, I gotta get this done. And then you're just like, you procrastinate. And then sometimes with certain things, it might end up being too late to do the thing. And so then you just, ignore it. But, your basic, anyone that's reached a level of success has some sort of strategy, has some sort of plan, writes down their goals. They express what they want out of their business, what they want out of their life. So most people are not just winging it. Almost when people say wing it, now I'm not talking about you're winging it and you still have plans and you still have a business, but some people just wing life. Like they don't have no accountability, no schedule, no nothing. They're just kind of going with the flow and seeing what happened. That doesn't work for me. I'm not saying that it doesn't work for that person, but most of us don't operate like that. And especially my military people, we are super structured and we're used to some sort of structure. Even if it's not like a military structure, it's some sort of, dress right dress, one thing after another and getting things done. Even though most of us probably hated basic training, but having all these things done early, they say we finish more things before 9 a.m. than most people do all day, right? So that's a great accomplishment. That feels good to get those things done, and then you can either have the rest of your day to chill or relax or do other income producing activities for the rest of the day. Also, focus is not something you do once in a while. Focus is a lifestyle. Like be focused all the time. Focus on that particular goal for that particular time, that particular day. It's not something that you can just turn on and off. It's a constant daily lifestyle that you have to continuously practice and continuously build on. So what do I want you to do today? I want you to identify the distractions that you have in your life that can be removed. We're not talking about necessarily people, or we're not necessarily talking about people or family or anything like that, but eliminate or at least identify the distractions that you have in your life that you want to remove. And if you're bold, share them in the comments of the distractions that you have. Most of the people are going to say social media, going to say going out to eat. They're going to say, someone that they're maybe seeing or hanging out with or partying or, drinking or something like that. This is real. This is real life. So you got to be honest with yourself. If you're bold, put in the comments some of your distractions and then, identify how you're going to eliminate those. How are you going to, whether it's slow it down or cut it off? Because I'm a cut it off type of person, because if I slow it down, I might ramp it back up. So I'd rather cold turkey anything that I'm trying to, identify, anything that I'm trying to fix, anything I'm trying to change. I really am mostly an all or nothing type person. So that can be you, or you can scale stuff down or, adjust, just micro changes, micro changes to big results. And it's hard to change or stop multiple things at once. And this is from those of you who watched the video I did with my mom, who was a former addict, and she was so gracious to come on and share just some of her story on my channel. We talked together about several things, but any type of addiction. And it may even be a coffee addiction, a sweets addiction, food addiction, any of these other things that we have. It's hard to stop them all at once. So the advice is to, micro changes. You can stop one thing, slow down the other things. Stop the next thing, slow down the other things. Or if you're bold enough, quit them all cold turkey, whatever they may be. It may be one thing. So just, whatever works for you, but ensure that you are doing something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So we want different results now. So we got to do something different, something bold, something like, and buying a course, respectfully, even to me, buying a course is not necessarily doing something different. Unless you're saying, this year is the year I'm going to get a mentor. I'm going to buy a course, or I'm going to take a mentorship program because I didn't want to do that before, but now I do. Okay, that's a change. But just buying something and then never executing on it, never going through the course, never executing on any of the tasks is not going to get you to the promised land. I promise you that. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and share this video with someone who may find it helpful. Please make sure that you are commenting on anything you would like for me to talk about next. If you like what I shared about procrastination or eliminate distractions or making poor decisions or mindfulness or anything that I mentioned and you want me to expound on those into another video, please leave that in the comments. Again, my course, GovCon Now, teaches you about federal contracting, local contracting, and corporate contracting. I have a whole section for my veterans, and I want you all to start, grow, and scale, okay, and get this GovCon money. So until next time, y'all, it's your favorite veteran.